I'm Anne, and I'm here to help you improve your academic writing even more with 5 more vocabulary words. So I'm a professor of English for speakers of other languages, and I get these questions all the time. Teachers ask me, how can I get my students to use more higher level vocabulary? And students ask the same thing. How can I improve my vocabulary? So the key for you is the academic word list. This is a list of 570 essential, very important words that you need to understand and know how to use in your academic writing. These occur all the time in readings and on tests like TOEFL and IELTS. And that's because they're very important and very useful. But you can't just look at the list and memorize them, because you will not, first of all, be able to memorize that many words, and you won't really be using them correctly. So the best way to approach this is kind of like the same approach you would use if you wanted to eat an elephant. Have you heard this before? How do you eat an elephant? The answer is this: one bite at a time. And that's what we're going to do with vocabulary, one bite at a time. I'm going to show you 5 essential words, and I'm going to show you very clearly how to use them, but then I want you to use them. Choose one of your favorite words from this list and write it in a sentence in the comments here on this video, and I'll reply and let you know if you're using it correctly. And if you already know all of these words, let me know too, and I'll choose 5 different words for the next one. Here we go. Our very first word is so-called. This is an adjective, so-called, and it's always used before a noun. It's not one of those adjectives that can be used alone. So the first meaning is we use so-called to indicate a name that is commonly used for something, like this. 54% of new cars sold in Norway are so-called battery electric vehicles, or BEVs. So I used so-called right in front of this term in quotation marks. So-called battery electric vehicles. Here's another one similar to this. Alaska Airlines announced today that it will no longer allow so-called emotional support animals, ESAs, in airplane cabins. That's kind of sad. These animals are so cute. Now there's a second meaning of so-called, and this is a little different because I'm kind of giving my opinion here. You can use so-called when you want to say that you don't think the name or description is right or is suitable. Let me show you an example here. So that is the worst defensive performance I have ever seen by a so-called professional football team. Here I'm kind of insulting the football team because I'm saying that they're professional, but they played so badly they should not be given the name professional. Here's another example of this meaning. After his bankruptcy, his so-called friends abandoned him. So I don't think these people should be called friends. So I'm using this word in front, so-called, his so-called friends. So let's look at how you can use this word so-called in a sentence to rewrite a sentence to make it sound more advanced. Here we go. So here's my first sentence. Many people call InfoCard Collector a digital wallet. It handles identity information. So I'm going to make some changes here. I'm going to really change things around, and I'm going to make a more advanced, higher level sentence using the word so-called. And I'm going to do it like this. I say, InfoCard Collector is a so-called digital wallet for handling identity information. So I've taken 2 sentences, combined them into one, and now my vocabulary really has gone up and is sounding more advanced right here. Let's look at another word. This is a verb, and the word is maximize. Maximize. This means to increase something as much as possible, or to use something in a way so as to get the best result. As CEO of the company, her goal was to maximize profits, to get the most profits possible. Get started on your tour of the island early in order to maximize your time, in order to really get the most out of your time. So let's try this. Let's rewrite a sentence using the word maximize. Here's the original. In order to learn as much as you can, always do your homework. This is a great sentence, something a student might write in a paragraph giving advice. But let's just take this and make it a little more advanced sounding using maximize. We'll use it like this. In order to maximize your learning, always do your homework. Our next word is potential. This word has a couple of definitions, and we're going to look at its definition as an adjective. So as an adjective, this one is always used before a noun. It will not be used alone as an adjective. And it means capable of becoming real or possible. Doctors are optimistic about the new medicine's potential benefits for patients who suffer from migraines. So another word I could use instead would be possible, but potential is a higher level word, and so already my sentence here sounds more advanced. Let's look at another example. Investing in the stock market has potential rewards for investors, but also large potential risks. So these things are possible and possibly will become real. So let's try this. Let's change this sentence, and we're going to use potential in our new sentence. So an important part of the job involves meeting with people who may become customers. Well, I can make this sentence shorter by using the word potential. I'm going to write it like this. An important part of the job involves meeting with potential customers. Our next word is impose. This is a verb. It means to cause something like a tax, a fine, a rule, a punishment, something like that, to affect someone else or something else because of your authority. So let me show you what I mean here. People are concerned that the new government will impose higher taxes on businesses. The rise in coronavirus cases caused many governments to impose curfews and other stay-at-home measures. If you don't know what a curfew is, it means that you have to go home at night at a specific time. So let's try this. Let's rewrite this sentence. We're going to use impose to make our sentence sound more advanced. Many people that feel that the government should put limits on Twitter and other social media platforms. Many people feel that the government should impose limits on Twitter and other social media platforms. Our next word is enforce. This is another verb, enforce. It has two meanings, similar meanings. The first one, to make a law, a rule, or something like that active or effective, or to make sure that people do something that is required by a law, a rule, or something like that. And another meaning is to make something happen, or to force or cause something to happen. The police sent extra officers to the streets over the holiday weekend to enforce the highway laws. There are laws against littering, like you can see in the picture. There are laws against littering, but they are difficult to enforce. So let's try this. Here's our original sentence that we are going to rewrite. Is it ethical for countries to use webcams to make people follow curfews? Remember, curfews means you have to go home and stay there. Is it ethical? We can say, is it ethical for countries to use webcams to enforce curfews? So here you have 5 super useful words, and your challenge right now is to take one of these words, use it in a sentence in the comments below, and I will let you know if you are using it correctly. And if you're ready to improve your writing just a little bit more, try one of these videos here on how to write great paragraphs or how to write great essays. See you next time.